This expectant mom's unbelievable pregnancy only happens once every 500 years. When expecting, all you want to know is that everything will be alright and that nothing is out of the ordinary. But 23-year-old Alexandra experienced the exact opposite. Doctors had never before seen a case like hers, but would be by her side the entire way through. The further along her pregnancy went, the more surprises kept coming up. In the end, though, it all was for the best as she defied the odds at every turn. Read on to see what this woman's incredible pregnancy journey looked like. The couple lives in the town of Milovis, a couple of miles from Prague. Since Alexandra had been pregnant before, she thought she knew what to expect. As it turned out, she had no idea what she was in for, and Antonin was also clueless. Since each pregnancy is different, there was a chance that this one would be easier for Alexandra than her first one had been. At the same time, there was a chance that the couple would face complications. Like any couple preparing to welcome a new member to their family, all that they could do was hope for the best. They went to their doctor regularly and stayed as alert and updated as they possibly could. The first few routine visits eventually led to some surprising news from the doctor. They were having twins. The couple looked forward to completing their family with 3 children total, the number they had initially wanted. What the couple didn't know is that this wasn't the end of the surprising news. Likewise, the doctors were equally ignorant of what lied ahead. All anyone could do was take it one visit at a time and see what each one revealed. Having another child would be a challenge for the parents, even if it was just one baby they would be adding to the family. Some parents say that having 2 children is more than twice as challenging as having one, since there are nuances with multiple children. For instance, with more than one child, the issue of jealousy can come into play. Then there's sibling rivalry, juggling schedules, and shared rooms to deal with. Still, the young couple felt up to the challenge. Alexandra continued to get larger and larger, which is to be expected while pregnant. Still, the couple couldn't help but notice that she was growing at a faster rate than the first time she'd been expecting. Since they were having twins, they could reasonably expect things to be double. Double the size, double the difficulty, double the trouble. It also meant that they had to have double the visits to the doctor. According to Webmd, doctors believe that a possible cause of morning sickness is the rapid increase of the hormone human chorionic gonadotropin, or HCG, which is what pregnancy tests detect. That meant that Alexandra was twice as likely to suffer from feelings of nausea with this pregnancy compared to the last one. At the same time, the sickness was just as likely to subside in 12 to 14 weeks of pregnancy once her body could adjust. Webmd also reports that women are more likely to become pregnant with twins while they are in their 30s and 40s, which seems contradictory since getting pregnant becomes harder with age. The reason is that ovulation becomes irregular, increasing the likelihood of 2 follicles being released at once. Since Alexandra was only 23 years old at the time, it seemed unusual that she would have multiple babies, but genes could very well explain how she became the exception. Eventually, the doctor realized they had made a mistake. Alexandra wasn't carrying 2 babies, she was carrying triplets. This explained why her weight gain had exceeded expectations, even when accounting for twins. Webmd reports that women shouldn't gain more than 37 to 54 pounds during a twin pregnancy. This is especially important to pay attention to because of the risk of developing gestational diabetes doubles when carrying twins, as compared to the risk when carrying just one baby. When Alexandra got the news she was having twins, she was so overjoyed that she began to cry. The news that they were now going to have triplets was even more overwhelming. At the same time that it was exciting to hear they'd have more children, it also meant they had that much more risk of complications. Alexandra would need that much more time at the hospital and much more folic acid, which helps prevent birth defects. In addition to having an even greater risk of developing gestational diabetes, there's also a greater risk of preeclampsia, a condition marked by high blood pressure. Additionally, labor can come earlier than with a single pregnancy. Webmd reports that mothers carrying twins often go into labor a month earlier than those carrying one child. As you can imagine, with 3 babies, the risk of preterm children is greater. But then the doctor informed Alexandra and her husband of even more shocking news. Once again, the doctor had the number of children Alexandra was carrying wrong. After further checkups, he realized that she wasn't carrying twins or triplets. She was pregnant with quadruplets. That essentially meant that they were up against double the risks that appear with twins and 4 times the risk that occurs with a single pregnancy. It also meant they were about to have 5 children total, a huge leap from just 1. Though it would be a challenge, the couple stayed strong. At this point, it seemed like anything could happen. The doctor had already retracted his claim on how many children they were going to have twice, and the risks were piling up. At the same time, Alexandra was doing splendidly, all things considered. Not only did she defy the odds by becoming pregnant with multiple babies, but she also defied them by not having any complications or severe symptoms. It looked like they were going to be okay. The couple held their breath as the final ultrasound of Alexandra's pregnancy revealed yet another unbelievable truth. They were having quintuplets. It didn't seem possible considering that the young couple hadn't used the in vitro fertilization, IVF. The only explanation was the couple's genes. If both parents have twins in the family, the odds increase of having twins. How they got to quintuplets is a mystery that can only be chalked up to a stroke of good luck. Alexandra and Antonin's genes and good fortune not only got the couple a whopping 5 children in a single pregnancy, but at this point, the risks were through the roof. Yet, the baffled doctors were in awe of how healthy Alexandra and all of her children seemed to be leading up to the delivery. It was truly miraculous to witness, especially since the doctors had never before handled a pregnancy like this. As we mentioned previously, twins often arrive a month early. Since Alexandra was carrying 5 babies, the doctors anticipated an early labor and gave her medication to help speed up their lung development. As predicted, Alexandra went into labor at 31 weeks, more than 2 months earlier than the typical pregnancy for a single child. The fateful moment had finally arrived and caused them to question if the delivery would be as successful as her pregnancy had been. Webb reports that the likelihood of having a C-section increases with twins, so it's no surprise that Alexandra was going to have to undergo the surgery. She and Antonin only knew they'd be having 5 children a month before her delivery. Excited as could be, Antonin was terrified he wouldn't make it in time since he was stuck on a delayed train. He confessed to news stations that he cried the whole way there, scared he would miss the magical moment. Fortunately, Antonin made it in time to see all of his children delivered. There were no health complications during the procedure, yet another miracle since risks are exceptionally higher. On average, quintuplets are born at a little less than 3 pounds each, and these ones were no exception, weighing in at 2.3 to 3 pounds each. Antonin and Alexandra welcomed 4 boys Daniel, Michael, Alex, and Martin, and 1 girl named Tereska into the world. The high number of babies made it difficult for the doctors to predict the sex of the babies, so finding out was a surprise. Antonin and Alexandra became the first couple in the Czech Republic on record to welcome quintuplets. The odds of naturally conceiving them are 50 million to 1, or approximately 1 in every 500 years. The chances of all 5 being identical are even lower, but their children were a mixture of identical and fraternal. Their little girl is obviously fraternal, as are Alex and Martin, and Michael and Daniel are identical twins. As you can see, they all grew up to be very happy and healthy babies. As lucky as the new family was, they were going to need some financial help to support all of their children. Antonin went to work while Alexandra recovered from the pregnancy and took care of all their little ones. Things got complicated when they were gifted money incurred from a fundraiser, which ultimately cost them their welfare privileges. Torn between the 2 forms of income, Alexandra went to court to get everything straightened out. Though Alexandra and her lawyer are still waiting to hear back regarding whether she will become eligible for her welfare to be renewed, she remains in high spirits. The children are older and as adorable as ever, which is a testament to the committed parents. There's no doubt that raising 6 children, 5 of which are the same age, will be a challenge, both financially and emotionally. At the same time, their miraculous health seems meant to be.